This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Drive to deep center field. Going back, Hernandez at the track, right to the wall. Gone! Elvis Andrus!
And 29 other MLB clubs.
High drive, deep left field. Nino left the building.
Guerrero lifts one to left field and gone! Ohtani, that was a moonshot out there in the right center.
Alonso defends his title, the 2021 Derby champion.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from OPS Plus to juiced balls to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to A's Cast Live, as we're going to be getting you ready for a little A's baseball coming your way from Kansas City. And let me tell you something. Sometimes it is good to get out of Dodge, to get out of Oakland, because right now, the way things are going for the Athletics, it is a big-time struggle. It is what it is. They have not been great at home, where they have lost. Their record is 8-28. They've been better on the road, 15-20. They got a chance on the road. They've really had no chance at home. So here you go. Back on the road, not going to be easy. You're going to have 3 in Kansas City, 3 in New York, and then you're going to have 4 in Seattle. But let's go. Time to tee it up. Time to be a professional. This is what we got going today here on A's Cast Live. We're going to have our buddy Roxy Bernstein from ESPN, of course, a broadcaster for your Oakland Athletics, will be here at 2:30. The Hud Man, Rex Hudler, the Wonder Dog, is going to be here at 3 o'clock. And then Mark Kotze, the skipper, will be here at 3:30. I know this. If there's one thing that I want to see during this road trip, it kind of is based off what we saw yesterday. And I know we're not going to get it a whole bunch. Yesterday was, I guess you could say, a rarity, where you have a starting pitcher work into the 8th inning. But the bottom line is, if a guy can get you into the 9th, there is no reason to go with guys who are not ready. Let me repeat, not ready to take the ball in the 9th inning to close out a win. They're not. They're not equipped for it. They haven't done it. And you essentially are kind of killing morale. You got Frankie Montas, who's out there absolutely dealing for you. If you're going to tell me that wins matter, if you're going to tell me building something, whatever it is, matters, then you got to let Frankie go out there. I mean, the fact that you gave up 2 runs and nobody got a hit tells you everything you need to know. You know, this whole idea of AJ Puck, and I like the idea of him coming out of the pen. I've liked him in the certain innings. Some of you view them as the most important innings. They're high leverage innings. It means everything. Yeah, sure. But still, those 3 outs at the very end of the game, they're the toughest 3 outs to get. There's a lot of pressure. There's pressure in the finality of anything. It doesn't matter what the performance. The pressure of the end of the play, the end of the production, the climax of the movie, the sporting event. Name the sporting event. Where's the most pressure? It's the last shot of a basketball game. It's the last drive of a football game. It's the final 3 outs in a baseball game. It's the shootout in hockey. The end, the finality is where the pressure is. Later on today, I'm going to get into pressure. And I'm going to tell you, these people who are trying to sell you just because Shohei Ohtani is a great offensive player and a great pitcher, he should win the MVP. No. There are moments when the MVP needs to rise. And there was that moment this year, and Shohei Ohtani didn't. I'll prove it to you. Yeah, you can sit back and we'll look at Baseball Reference. I'm going to save this. But just think about this. There's a difference between watching a team, seeing it, living it, and just going to Baseball Reference and looking at a guy's page. Because you're not seeing, you can just see numbers. I can spin numbers, good or bad, as good as anybody. For God's sakes, we all know that gas prices are a record high in our life. We all know food prices, and as someone who's in the restaurant business, I can tell you food costs are the most we've ever seen. But yet there's people out there who are trying to spin it like, oh, it's not that bad. Things are actually, the economy's great. Tell that when you go to the gas pump. People can spin numbers any way they want. But I can tell you, I go to my computer here, Shohei Ohtani, you're going to tell me how he's MVP, no question. I'm going to give you why early voting, right? I mean, they're talking about it now, and I see it on MLB.com, but I can prove to you, I could say most valuable player. When his team needed him most, how did he do? We'll get into that a little bit later. But those final 3 outs, man, A.J. Puck can't throw a strike. Wild pitches, brought in 2 runs, and you lost the game. Why? Because he's not ready. The moment's too big. You think he's hell on wheels when he pitches in the 6th inning and the team's down by 3. Oh, Townie, look at his ERA. Look at the strikeouts. He's throwing 97, 98. Yeah, he's hell on wheels when the team's down 4 runs in the 6th inning. I needed him yesterday. I needed Zach Jackson yesterday. I needed you in the moment to close it out for Frankie Montas. I needed you. And where were you? Where were you? You were nowhere to be found. You couldn't throw strikes. Moment was too big. You talk about a Mariners team that's offense stinks. You're talking about a Mariners team that's not any good. You had to just get 3 outs, just those simple 3 outs. Yeah, there's those times over the years where Mariano Rivera or Dennis Eckersley or Trevor Hoffman could come in, nobody on, gets the 3 outs, get the save, and you say, not that big of a deal. What did yesterday show you? It is. Both those guys, hey, Zach Jackson came in, nobody was on. You just have to get 3 outs. Moment was too big. And hence Frankie Montas doesn't get a win. Another loss, another sweep, another demoralizing thing, and you got to get on the plane and go to Kansas City. Hopefully you had a few adult beverages and get ready to go today. But don't tell me those last 3 outs don't mean anything. I know. I've done it at a much lower level, but I know. The heart starts pumping. Everything's different in that in the finality of everything. It's different. It just is. It's different than the 6th inning coming out of the bullpen. It's different than the 8th. The 9th, this is the dagger. This is the kill shot. Not everybody wants to shoot the basketball at the end of the game. When it's 5, 4, 3, you know who did? Larry Bird. Larry Bird wanted it. You know who wants that final drive? Joe Montana, Tom Brady. They want that. John Elway lived off of it. Right? Michael Jordan wanted that game-winning shot. Not everybody wants to take that shot. Modern basketball? I don't know. I hear 10, 9, 8. If it's not Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, I don't know how many guys I want taking that shot. I don't know how many guys got the balls to take that shot. Day in and day out with everything on the line. Steph Curry does. A's don't. Don't have that guy. So this road trip, I don't know. Why not? Let starters go deep. Cole Irvin, we talk to him all the time, friend of the program. Cole, what do you think? What do you think? Think you can go? Can you go 9? Now, it's not going to happen. I know that's from a bygone era. But you got if you want to factor in the game, you cannot leave it to a bullpen. I got the numbers. Numbers aren't great, by the way. The Oakland Athletics bullpen in the last 26 games. Is this who you want to hand the ball to? Is this who you want to go to early? They're 1-7 with a 6.88 ERA. 1-7, 6.88 ERA. Is that who you want to go to? I don't think so. Who do we got rolling today? Once again, Roxy Bernstein, Rex Hudler, Mark Kotze, all coming your way. Royals, Zach Greinke is off to a horrific start. Greinke's coming off the injured list, strained right forearm. He got the 1-year, $13 million deal. You thought, oh, that'd be cool. Bring him back to Kansas City. But he's looking to avoid being the third Royals starter in the last 15 years to go winless in his first 11 starts. Wow. I do believe he's a future Hall of Famer. He's had a phenomenal career. But winless in his first 11 starts? I mean, that's brutal. And you're going to get into their bullpen early. There's no question about that. He's not going to go deep. But, man, some of these numbers are struggling. But the good thing for the A's is you're back out on the road. Get away from whatever it is that you're not digging in Oakland. Whatever it is, this team, they don't got it at the Coliseum. Will they get it? It's a roller coaster ride. Up, down. You just don't know. Maybe, just maybe, they will find it at home this year. But right now, it's not there. And Frankie Montas, my God, what an outing yesterday. That was as good as you really can throw the baseball. He was asked the dumb question yesterday. When did you know? A guy doesn't sit out there in the third or fourth or fifth inning and goes, today I got no-hitter stuff. You don't think about that. You're going pitch by pitch. You think a guy in the third inning is already thinking about the ninth inning? He's not even thinking what's in front of him, the task in front of him. That's just the dumb questions that get asked. But what he had yesterday and what makes him so special is that when he does have his A stuff, plus fastball, split, but had the slider going, when he's got all three going, he really can be as good as anybody in the game. He has that type of talent. Did that just come over the broadcast?
Yeah, I think whatever email you got down here just came up for
By the way, that's Ray, everybody. Ray is with us today. That is not my email, Ray. That is my computer saying I'm out of juice. I got to go get my charger. So coming up next, something happened today that if it was you would be, this is a negotiation, right? Something happened today in Major League Baseball. If this was you would be so hacked off, as Glenn Kuiper likes to say. What happened and why would you be mad? We'll find out next right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3" it's #1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Hey, Ace fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrie locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Innovation that's at the heart of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students map genes from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, Roxy Bernstein is going to join us. Hey, Ray, just give me a thumbs up. Roxy's on this trip, right?
He is.
All right. So Roxy will be joining us from Kansas City coming up here in about 11 minutes. So something happened today that made me think, can you imagine if this was you? And it just kind of shows the nuttiness of the business that we're in. We chose this life. It's our fault. But the nuttiness is just incredible. And I was thinking, like, what would this be like if this was me or you? How would you deal with it? Well, you'd have to deal with it, but, like, how would you go about it? How would you feel? And arbitration, because of what they did in the offseason with the lockout, arbitrations have been pushed back big time. And Aaron Judge's arbitration got pushed back. So here we're in a situation where they're doing it now, and a lot of them are they're all getting done now, or they've been getting done, and now they're getting finished. And we want to just watch the season. And why do we care about arbitration at this point of the year? But it is what it is. And he wanted $21 million. Yankees wanted to pay him $17 million. But the thing about it that was like a reality and shocking, and why I throw it to me and you, is if this was us, if we were with our employer and we had some arbitration type system, and we're getting ready for our hearing, and the bottom line is I can only discuss last year. Wait a minute. I'm in June. What do you mean I can only discuss last year? Yeah, we're going off last year. This year doesn't matter. Can you imagine you at your job going to arbitration and you can't talk about how you're killing it? You can't discuss how I'm the top guy in sales. I'm the top this. I'm the top that for my company. Nope, you can only go off last year. I heard that and I was just like, this is mind-blowing. Nope. The 27 home runs that I have, the 1,037 OPS that I have, the 194 OPS plus, my body of work, my 304 average, obviously I'm going over his numbers. I got 53 RBIs. I'm everything. Old metrics, new metrics, you name it, I'm knocking it out of the ballpark. Nope, can't use that. That has nothing for your value for what was supposed to happen last year or last off season. I just shake my head. I can't even imagine how angry I would be. I understand the business, but you know what? You guys created the lockout. Owners, this is your lockout. It's your fault we didn't go to arbitration. You're going to tell me now that I'm the best player? I mean, technically, numbers-wise, nobody's better than me right now in this game. I'm generating my employer a boatload of money, and I don't get credit for it. I don't get credit for it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine right now you go into an arbitration situation, however you're listening to me, streaming, YouTube, you're going to watch this later on YouTube or on Twitter, and you're trying to go for like a raise, or you're some type of financial agreement with your employer. You can only discuss last year. What you do this year doesn't matter, even though you're lighting it up. I found that hard to believe. Now, they settled for $19 million with incentives, which I don't care about. You don't care about. What Aaron Judge or any of these other guys make, it does not matter. I just thought that it was so odd that how this is going to go down. But the crazy world of baseball. And speaking of what we did in the offseason, I saw this today and I wanted to bring it up because I love the idea. When I heard about it, I thought, genius. What we need to do in the game, if we want to have this ceiling, which I think you need to have a ceiling. I've said it on this show, a salary cap would be best for all. A salary cap really is better for everybody. And it's better for the sports. It's actually better for the average player. There's a reason why you have so many guys who don't make X amount of money, because they don't have to pay you. Our system is set up just to overpay certain individuals. The top percent are going to get theirs. Everybody else, good luck. They sold you down the river. That's why yours truly I'll never forget. I was out playing golf, actually, and I got the call from Cody. Lockout's over. Sweet. Oh, by the way, I got my Hall of Fame. If you're watching, I got my – let me see how this looks. If you're watching, I got my Baseball Hall of Fame mug. A lot of merch at the Baseball Hall of Fame when you go there. Fabulous. So I was golfing. Cody calls me up, says, we're doing a show. So I think it was like the 11th hole. I had to take the cart back, get in the car, went to Cody's apartment because we were redoing this studio at the time. And we got on the air, and I'm listening to all these guys. So many people in our business, they don't understand. So many people in our business don't understand business. And they're sitting there and they're going, oh, man, the players, they won this thing. Look at all the things the owners had to give up. And I was like, am I reading the room wrong? Or are these guys just bozos and they don't know what they're talking about like always? Stick to your traditional look at the back of the baseball quotes. You don't understand business. And I'm not trying to say I was right, but I was right. What did the owners give up? The owners gave up a little more money to the first year guys, lower level guys. They went a little up in the luxury tax. They knew they'd have to do that, but in the end, nothing changed. Free agency didn't change. Arbitration didn't change. Nothing. They just had to. They had to give. By the way, they gave a little extra scratch while they're signing huge deals with Apple, NBC for Peacock. They're signing mega new deals, and they're just having to give some extra scratch to the players. And so basically what they did was they said, here's some extra money, players. Go away for 5 years. Stop whining. They gave a little bit, and they were making all this extra money. Players, go away. We don't want to hear from you for another 5 years. Oh, but the players won. Did they? I got here from Ken Rosenthal today to prove they're not winning. What are you winning? What did they win? Because according to this, the recently concluded collective bargaining agreement addressed the issues of tanking in only one respect, a draft lottery. Sweet. We got a draft lottery now. These teams really seem to care about the draft lottery. Through Wednesday, I know it's Friday, through Wednesday, 17 teams. There's only 30 in baseball, by the way. 17 teams. I want to bring up the standings here. I'm going to bring up the standings just so we can actually look at it all together. 17 teams, 10 in the American League, 7 in the National League, were 10 or more games out of first place. We're not even in July. If you've been listening to the show, the last couple of days I started going over it, where in these notes that I've been getting, I've noticed all these teams that are going on all these excellent runs. This team's winning 16-19. This team. And then you have all these other teams that stink. So you're starting to see the cream rise, and everybody else just go. 17 teams, folks. 17 are 10 or more games out of first place. Just look at the AL East, and some of them have winning records. Everybody, because the Yankees are good, everybody, Toronto, Boston, Tampa, Baltimore, all 10 or more games out. In the Central, Detroit and Kansas City. In the West, it's Texas who's they're a half game. It's basically the whole West. Angels, Mariners, A's. We're 21 games out. It's not even July. You go into the East, Miami, Washington in the National League. The Central, Chicago and Cincinnati. And then in the West, you got Arizona and Colorado. How is this lottery detouring anybody from winning games? Do we have Roxy Bernstein?
He should be calling him momentarily.
Okay. So the lottery, and by the way, the lottery, so the 18 teams that do not qualify for the postseason will be eligible for the first pick. So there's no more winner, chicken dinner. You've got the worst record in baseball. You get the first pick in the draft. You're not even guaranteed. You are not even guaranteed to get the first pick. So what exactly did the players win in this collective bargaining agreement when they thought they were trying to get rid of teams tanking or not really trying? When you have 17 teams, not even July yet, are 10 or more games out of first place. It is unbelievable. Roxy Bernstein going to be in tonight on the A's broadcast from Kansas City. Roxy. Roxy cannot hear me.
Uncle Townie, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
I got you now. Yeah, I wasn't hearing you. I was hearing you, then you were gone, but now you're back again.
Why the hell are you not on video right now?
Does anybody need to see me? Really?
Yes. Yeah, we'd love to see you from Kauffman Stadium.
You want? I don't know. Can I put it on FaceTime?
I wouldn't do that now. A little bit too late.
Okay. Well,
since you work for ESPN and we're kind of going from a national perspective, Ken Rosenthal put out the article, his weekly 18-page article, where he talks about, they thought they were trying to address tanking, and by basically going to a lottery for the first pick, doesn't seem to be working, Roxy. We got 17 teams who are 10 or more games out of first place, and we're not even in July yet.
well, if memory serves correctly, Chris, don't each of the three worst records have the same percentage chance of getting that first pick? Isn't it like 16% for each of those three bottom teams when they do this baseball draft lottery?
Yeah, but everybody's got a shot at it. That's the thing. It's
yeah.
Are we going to have a frozen envelope that says New York Knicks on it so that the Knicks get Patrick Ewing?
And Patrick Ewing is taken first overall. And Chris Mullin goes 7. Well, look, if you finish with the worst record in baseball, the worst you could draft is 7. But look, I get it. I know why they did this, to prevent tanking. Some teams aren't trying to tank. Some teams are just bad, right? And look, we watch the A's every day. We know how frustrating it can be at times. And, for 8 innings yesterday, it was a great day at the Coliseum. But then the 9th inning happened, and unfortunately that was a kick in the gut. But the motivation for teams right now, they saw what Houston did. When Houston tanked and it worked. And I think that's why they tried to prevent this from happening again, from teams just completely putting a poor product on the field. But it hasn't deterred teams this year. And I know you mentioned what is it? How many teams now are double digits back in their division?
17.
Well, keep in mind, the Yankees have a double-digit lead on everybody in that division. Those teams are still pretty good, right? With Tampa Bay and Toronto and Boston. So the number is a little bit distorted, but at the same time,
only by like 2 maybe, because right now the Rangers have stepped up and they're just 9.5 game back. So I could actually flip one of your East teams. Yeah. And so it's really 2 teams, basically half the league, even with the Yankee deal in the East. I agree with you, but it's really basically half the league is 10 games or more out.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Texas and the Angels can't think about catching Houston. They got to get to 500 first, right? You can't worry about playoffs and winning a division. You've got to get to 500 before you can start to think about that. And that's what Texas and the Angels need to do if they're going to make this thing a race. And I don't know if anybody will in the division, but they have to worry about getting to 500 first before they can worry about how many games back they are.
One of the things that I think about, and I don't know how much A's fans or really which baseball fans care about, but whenever I hear this stuff about the Astros and what they did, we're now at a point with Correa being gone. They had basically the 4 first-round picks that were key to them. 2 of them never worked out, and you guys addressed Appel the other day where he's at AAA. Who's he with? Mark Appel, AAA.
He's with the Phillies at AAA.
Yeah, well, he's one of those tanking draft picks. So there was 2 of the tanking draft picks didn't work. The other 2 were Bregman and Correa. Correa's gone. I mean, that tanking under Lunau, that was now a long time ago. The only guy left is Bregman. And remember, Altuve was an international signing. He had nothing to do with the tanking. So as people still want to credit the Astros for that, the Astros, the reason they have been to the ALCS 5 straight years and the World Series appearance, that's because of what they've done has been good scouting and good drafting. The whole tank thing has now become overrated. They keep on winning, and it has nothing to do with tanking back in the day.
And that's fair because you alluded to it, and then they make a trade, or they get Yordan Alvarez from the Dodgers. So they've made those moves. They added Verlander. They've done a good job, I think, developing pitching. When you look at guys like Urquidy who's come through their system and Christian Javier, so they pieced this thing together well. And look, the cheating scandal aside, which we've all beaten into the ground here, but you're right, their scouting and development people have done an outstanding job of putting that organization together. And yes, it helps. And when they pick early in rounds, it certainly gives you more of an opportunity for that to succeed. But at the end of the day, it's an organization that was built with smart movement along the way in terms of signings and adding a veteran bat like Michael Brantley into the mix there and what he could do and the professional approach that he brought to the Houston Astros organization. You go get a great defensive catcher in Martin Maldonado and Jason Castro, we've seen for years, the Castro Valley native, as the backup catcher there. So their scouting and development staff, I'm with you, Tony, they don't get enough credit for the success the Astros have had on the field.
We saw it yesterday with Frankie Montas, and I get it. It's the playbook that everybody in the game is running. And for certain teams, you're running a playbook that just doesn't work. And what I mean by that is you got a guy like Frankie Montas that has no-hitter stuff, and you take the ball from him in the 8th inning and you throw it to a bullpen, Roxy. I don't know if you've seen the note, but in the last 26 games, the A's bullpen is 1-7 with a 6.88 ERA. I'm not sure I want to run to that bullpen anytime soon. And if we're claiming that we need to get some victories for morale, I'm throwing Frankie back out there in the 9th inning. And right now, I look at Cole Irvin. I go, Cole, you're going tonight, baby. You're going as long as we can. I know I got a ton of guys down there, but according to these numbers, I can't rely on any of them.
And it hurts the bullpen now that Danny Jimenez is on the injured list with a shoulder issue, which, look, we know how lights out he was early in the year, and that shoulder probably had the influence of why he had some scuffles before he went on the injured list. But it's unfortunate. And you got Zach Jackson and A.J. Puck who are not used to being in that role, right? They're used to being in the setup role, being maybe earlier in the ball game. We've seen A.J. come in the 5th, 6th inning of games. All of a sudden yesterday, he and Jackson, who have been the setup guys, are thrown into the 9th inning. And as we know, those final 3 outs are the toughest to get in a ball game. And it's different. And the mental pressure is very different. And I don't know if they were ready for that, having not done it before at this level. And I think that added to the struggles that the A's had yesterday trying to close out that game. But you feel for Frankie because he certainly deserved to win that game. The way he pitched, 7 2/3 of no-hit baseball, then get out of that jam when the Mariners got 2 on in the 8th inning. And then the crazy thing is, and I know you have talked about this already, you give up 2 runs in the 9th inning without the benefit of a hit. That has the most frustrating aspect of it all from yesterday.
What do you do with A.J. Puck?
To me, I look at A.J. Puck and I see Andrew Miller, right? I thought in the role that he was used in for years, whether it was in Cleveland, he was in Detroit, Miami, that role, and even St. Louis, is a valuable role. Maybe he's not the guy that gets you the final 3 outs of the game, but he could be a left-handed bridge guy to give you multiple innings, to get 5-6 outs in the course of the game. I don't know if he's a starter because every time it seems they've tried to turn him into a starter, something's happened. He's had to deal with an injury. So maybe that role isn't the best for him. But look, I know it was his first opportunity, and I hate to see him blow the save opportunity yesterday, and it had to be frustrating for him. But I think he could be best served being in that swing role where you're looking to get 5-6 outs from a guy who's a very difficult at bat, especially for left-handers to face.
Yeah, I mean, he's hell on wheels so far this year, and really the non-pressure situations, he started getting his groove as they brought him in. They were games where the team was down. He was able to come in 6th, 7th inning. Then they kind of eased him into games that mattered. And then now you saw, like yesterday, I mean, it's hard to forget just throwing strikes. I mean, he's throwing wild pitches that are bringing guys in. I just wonder, what's the best role for him right now? I know the future still could be starter. You can bring up, Hader, Miller, whoever. It's just, what's best for him right now? I'm not sure if I want to see him in the 9th inning.
And again, he might not be suited to pitch the 9th inning, right? It takes a different mentality, as you know, right? You look at some of the great closers the A's have had recently, and whether it was Liam Hendricks, Grant Balfour, they just had a different mentality and the mindset. And you have to have that ability in the 9th inning. And look, I don't think we've seen enough of A.J. Puck to know if he's got that in him. But look, you've talked to Liam countless times over the years, and Balfour as well. Those two dudes are a different breed, right? They beat it to their own drum. But they were able to be effective when the pressure was there in the 9th inning. And I don't know where A.J. Puck is at in terms of being able to deal with that. Teams could grow into that role at some point. I'd love to see it because I like you, Chris. I think he could be a valuable weapon to the team because of the arsenal that he has and how difficult he is with how hard he throws, with the action on his slider, that he can be a dominant pitcher, and we've seen him dominant at times.
We're starting to look at MVP, like front runners for the MVP, as we'll work away from the A's right now and go to your national side with the work that you do for ESPN. And I heard our guy Dallas Braden talk about it. Hey, anybody that can hit and pitch like Ohtani, everybody else, if you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, so because you're saying a guy goes both ways, he just always should be the MVP because he's the most valuable. And I've been crunching numbers, and I think, Ohtani's a unicorn. He's incredible. But I go back to their 14-game losing streak when they needed him most. He was nowhere to be found. So I just, it always takes me back, Roxy, when you, as someone who votes for a Heisman, you vote for a big award, if you had a chance to vote for an MVP, how much do you kind of, at times, the stats go to one side and the guy's value for you as a winning team has to shine through?
The stats only tell part of the story, Chris, right? And he puts up great numbers. But how valuable are you to your team if your team is below 500, which the Angels are? How valuable are you when you're struggling and your team is struggling? And, as you alluded to, he didn't do anything when they lost 14 in a row. Now, Mike Trout's been dinged up, as we know, and they were trying to fight their way through it. But you have to take that into consideration. And so his numbers, you can't compare whether it's an Aaron Judge, or Rafael Devers, whoever you want to throw into the conversation, right? You can't put their numbers side by side with Ohtani because it only tells half the story. And, with the Yankees playing as well as they are and on this ridiculous pace, that has to be given consideration for guys in New York, right? you can't just ignore, okay, well, yeah, well, if you're considering Judge, well, Giancarlo Stanton is there, and okay, he's got Rizzo in that lineup, and whatever Yankee you want to throw in there. Well, guess what? It's just he's still producing, and he's still driving runs, and still, comes through. Yesterday gets the game-winning hit. That has to count for something.
No, there's no question about it. And I just did the numbers while you were talking. During that 14-game losing streak, Ohtani hit 209. When they needed him most, right? They're having to save their season. And what we did know at the time was they're having to save their manager. And here we had all this talk of Trout, Ohtani getting to the playoffs for a first time. When the team needed the guy the most, he hit 209 with 2 home runs in 14 games, and both those home runs were in one game. So there's 13 other games he wasn't hitting the ball out of the ballpark. So that's where I wanted to bring that in. As a guy that signed a lot of contracts in your career, did you find it odd? Did you find it odd that we were talking about Aaron Judge going to arbitration today, and there, whether he wants 21, the Yankees want to give him 17, you could not discuss what he's doing this year. How would you feel about that?
You have to take everything into consideration, don't you? You just can't ignore.
No, you're not allowed to.
Okay, well, what he's doing this year.
Well,
got to be taken into account what he's doing this year, and I think everything it has to be all told. Look, if he got hurt or he wasn't producing this year, you don't think the Yankees would try to use that against him?
Yeah, good point.
So it can go both ways, and to be able to totally gauge where a player is at as far as the arbitration goes for Judge, and I'm sure it got contentious between the sides, that has to be taken into consideration, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, I was just listening to Buster Olney and his podcast, and he talked about, hey, they're debating last year, this year's 27 home runs, well over 1,000 OPS. I looked it up earlier. I think it's a 194 OPS plus off the charts. Oh, that doesn't matter. I'm like, what? But that's what they're trying to claim. This year doesn't matter. I'm like, well, man, I just know if that was me or I think anybody else listening and you were negotiating for your salary, you'd want whatever happened this year to be a part of it.
I know you'll be hard to believe this, Chris, but the loud cheering you're hearing is not from me right now. I know you're stunned.
What the hell is it?
You know how big deal I am in Kansas City, right?
Well, I know the barbecue places love you. You're a big deal there. Why is it so loud hours before the game?
So there is a celebrity softball game going on. There's a charity event that Paul Rudd, who is a Kansas City native, has every year here in Kansas City. And so they are cheering for Paul Rudd. James Vanderbeek just walked by me. Yes, Dawson.
Yeah.
Dawson Street. Kevin Pollak just walked onto the field. The only disappointing thing about this celebrity charity all-star game is that Jason Sudeikis will not be here. He's from Kansas City, normally plays in it, but he is off filming Ted Lasso season 3 right now, could not make it here into Kansas City for this event.
Okay, let's end on this. I'm just going to say, as a Ted Lasso fan, I am glad he is not there and he is filming it, because I could care less about the Kansas City Royals and their celebrity softball game. Give me more Ted Lasso.
Well, I know for one afternoon, I think they can do without Jason Sudeikis, don't you?
I can't. All right, are you on the entire trip?
I am on this part and then New York, and Kent's coming back for Seattle. So I'm getting some family vacation time around the 4th of July.
Nice. Well, enjoy. I guess I'll be talking to you every other day then.
Oh, Eric Stonestreet just walked out of the field there, Uncle Townie.
Who?
They're all Eric Stonestreet, the actor,
Wow, you got some big names out there in Kansas City.
Yeah. Oh, my colleague from ESPN, Joe Tessitore, is out here.
Man.
Wow. I'll have to go talk to that.
You got more stars on the field now than there's going to be later in this game.
Well, Bobby Witt Jr. will be on the field a little bit.
No offense, by the way, to everybody who's going to be participating in the game tonight. Have a good call.
I will. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Oh, God, that was killing my ears. Yeah. If they're having a celebrity softball game right now at Kauffman Stadium, there literally is more star power there right now than there's gonna be. What time does this game start?
5:10 Pacific.
5:10. Wow. Yeah, I crunched the numbers, and I'll ask Rex Hudler. We're gonna have the HUD man on here in just a little bit. So just to kind of give you an update, what happened recently is, in back-to-back days, Shohei Ohtani did Shohei Ohtani things. He hit 2 home runs, drove in 8 runs. Then the next night out, he threw a career high in strikeouts. I mean, it's something we've never seen before. Won the MVP last year. He has a night like that. We all are in the world of social media hot takes, even though here's a hot take. Elon Musk is showing us all of our Twitter followers. Luckily, I don't really deal in Twitter anymore, so my followers has completely changed. I've been kicked off my account now for years for no reason. They're all bots. The majority of the people are, I've got X amount of, yeah, sure you do. It's bots. It's a lot of bots. Twitter is a big old lie, but whatever. Everybody tried to react to, see, this is why this guy is, don't even bring it. I mean, our own Dallas Braden, don't even bring up the equation anybody else could potentially be the MVP because of what this guy does, because of 2 nights. And I was like, what? No one else can be the MVP because he pitches and he hits on a bad team? Is that his fault? No. But I can easily show you the fly in that ointment. I'm not going to sit here and just say for the next X amount of years that he's a young player, that Shohei Ohtani is going to be the MVP in Major League Baseball because of stats. I'm not. Is it fair that he's on a bad team? No. But it's the same argument for Trout. That's not everybody else's fault. Well, he's the best player. That's why you have the Hank Aaron Award. Most valuable. Do I need to go inside my house and get my grandfather's most valuable player trophy? Maybe I'll bust that out for you and bring it out here after the next commercial break. But MVP stands for most valuable, not best stats guy. And how I can prove, now Shohei Ohtani could still win it, but I would just use this argument against him. And I have nothing against him. I think he's a marvelous player. I love watching him play from day one. But the Angels, everybody is dying to see the Angels in the postseason. Trout is one of the great players. People are starting to actually get on that a little bit more. As Trout's been crowned because of numbers. But as an all-time great, people have started to take some shots at it, however you feel. But it's not his fault. And I would agree. You're just one guy. You play for a team. You do what you do. But we can step inside and actually look a little deeper than just going to Baseball Reference, which most people do. They go to Baseball Reference, they look at the numbers, and they go, I'm right, look at the numbers. And then you go, well, why don't we look a little deeper than just looking at overall total numbers and actually look at a season? And that's where I think, since MLB.com has come out with front runners for the MVP, and Shohei Ohtani's not one of them, and people go, how could you do that? That case in point, 14-game losing streak. One off their franchise record. Everybody's talking about how the Angels, God, it would be great to see Ohtani and Trout in the postseason. I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be great theater. But what happened? They lost 14 straight. The floor fell out. Absolutely fell out. They couldn't beat anybody. I got it here in front of me. It started on May 25th. They lost to Texas. Then they lost 4 straight to Toronto. Then they lost 4 straight to New York. Then they lost 3 straight to Philadelphia. And then they lost 3 straight to Boston. And what happened in that time? The savior got fired. Remember, Joe Madden was the savior. Joe Madden was the guy that was here the last time they won the World Series, and he understands how things went, and Mike Scioscia and all that kind of, I don't know. Can you really call it angel mystique? It was 1 year. They were a wild card team. They caught fire. They beat another. First time we ever had 2 wild card teams play each other in the World Series. The Giants were a wild card team too. Can we really sit there and, the magic of the Angels, and we got to get out back to that era Angels baseball when the A's were battling them head-to-head through all those years and who was winning the division or somebody else. If you weren't winning the division, you were the wild card team. He got fired because of this run. When the team needed Shohei Ohtani most, when they needed Trout most to be MVPs, to lead the team, Ohtani hit 209. Do you remember they went into this showcase into New York? And Trout and Ohtani did nothing at Yankee Stadium. They did nothing through that whole losing streak. Yeah, pitching was bad, but yeah, where was this greatness? Where was the home run? He hit 2 home runs in 14 games. They're both in the same game. Is that MVP? Now they're out of it. Now they're out of it. Where are they standing as of today? As of right now, the Angels are 10.5 games back. They're 34-38. Now there's home runs. Now he's out on the mound striking out 13. Where's the pressure? That gets down to why is it old school or is it just right? Why it means more for a guy to perform when it matters, when the pressure's on, when you have to perform. When this team needed him, he hit 209. Now that the season's like, hell on wheels again. That's an MVP? I got more to talk about this later, but coming up next, we're going to head to Kansas City again to one of my favorites of all time, the Hudman Rex Hudler, right here on A's Cast Live.
Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
August 6th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps wants to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop, where you will receive a free pack of cards, plus a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. Post your packs on social media using the hashtag ToppsITCD, and follow along with @Topps. Visit Topps.com for more information.
Coming in at 5'3", it's #1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3for1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Hey Ace fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Innovation that's at the heart of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students map genes from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Hitting the road with the family. On your way to nonstop adventures. No worries ahead, because you know you can stop at a Chevron station along the way. Get fuel for your car, fuel for your crew. That's Chevron with Techron for unbeatable mileage and snacks for all. Coffee for mom, chips for the kids, cold drinks for dad. You know, for the road ahead. Toss in some laughs, out-of-tune singing, and a zillion "Are we there yet?" And you just made lifelong family memories. Chevron, together ahead.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
I have said this before, and I will say this again in front of him. If I was in a major battle, whatever, business, health, and I needed a pep talk, if I needed somebody to get me going and to get me fired up, a battle for my life, there's one guy in baseball who I'd want me to give me that inspirational pep talk. That would be the great Rex Hudler, and he joins us here from the Kansas City Royals. Hud, man, it is great to have you back on the program.
Oh, hey, buddy, I'm so thrilled to be with you, and very sorry that when we came to Oakland last week, I wasn't able to be on with you. But, man, I just want to say thank you, and I don't want to burst your bubble or anything, but you can't use the word great anywhere near my name because, heck, I was just a bootleg player in my day.
Are you kidding me? You're one of the prides of Northern California. You're in the Fresno Hall of Fame. We know all about your career. You played in Major League Baseball from, I'm looking at 1984 to 1998. You know you had a good career, and to hang on that long and then to look what you've done in broadcasting, my friend, that's called a great baseball life.
Oh, you know, I've been blessed totally, no doubt, especially at birth with great parents and great genetics. And so I was a competitive kid in Fresno from elementary school on. I knew I wanted to be a professional athlete. I wasn't sure what sport that God was going to direct me to, but I played them all and had fun. And then my senior year in high school at Bullard, I got drafted in the 18th pick in the country by the New York Yankees in the first round. And before that, I had a full ride football scholarship to play at Notre Dame and catch passes from some guy named Joe Montana. And that was in 1978. I was all set to go to college, and then the Yankees came out of nowhere and drafted me. So that kind of begun that career, man. the thing I'm really most proud of is the 10 years in the minor leagues I had to do before I could get to the big leagues. And I learned a lot about myself during that time, how to persevere, how to handle 6 years of A-ball, how to not give up, and how to continue to push and persevere and finally get the prize. And the prize for me was a beautiful wife I met, and we've been married for 33 years. She's the pride of my baseball career and my children we've had, my 4 kids. So really been blessed. There's no doubt about it.
You realize you could have been Steve Largent before Steve Largent.
Yeah, the fact I didn't go to Notre Dame, it really hurt Joe Montana's career, didn't it?
You know what? You're so right. Montana, man, he would have never made, he's lucky to have made the Hall of Fame without you.
Anyway, just great to be able to relive some memories with you. But I love the Central San Joaquin Valley, the Bay Area. We just had a wonderful visit there, and a nice. The Royals were 5-4 on the trip, so it was a pretty good trip for them.
Yeah, when I think about these teams, and obviously you look at them, they're both struggling. But the one thing that's different is you've got a lot of young players that you're trying to figure out. The A's are just starting to go that way. I know I was talking to the Fizz about this up in the press box in Oakland, where he was surprised how old some of our players are. It's been a weird transition with the lockout and being able to sign and find younger guys. But I got to think from a Royals perspective, you're at least able to enjoy looking at young players and potential future Royals.
Oh, that's the real secret to big league baseball is veteran players. Veteran players, who have been there and done it, and have experience and have reps and have a track record. That's what this game really is all about. But hey, look, you can't stay old forever. The youth is coming. And I remember when I was a young prospect, and those veteran players, they all know who's coming. But once they get here, how do they keep their head above water? That's the big part of the game that makes it challenging for these kids. And how do you handle failure? I mean, they've been able to handle some minor league failure, but once you get to the big leagues, humble pie awaits all, and you will get humbled in this game immediately. So it's how does a young kid keep his head above water? And that's the deal. You got to surround yourself with good quality, positive people that can continue to build you up during your failure, and somebody that's positive, because baseball sometimes revolves around the negative. And I learned I am a successful failure now, having learned how to go through all that over 40 years, actually 21 seasons of baseball, and then now another 22 in broadcasting. It's so nice to be on the other side and have the second best job in the world and not have to go out there and try to hit that 95 every night.
It's a great way to put it, because Paul Blackburn recently did that on this show right here, where he said, hey, listen, I was DFA'd. I was essentially fired by the A's. And then, of course, I got my job back, and now I'm in the rotation. But the way he looked at it from a standpoint of not DFA'd, go back to the minors, he saw it as failure. He saw it as he was fired, and it was like a wake-up call for him. It's interesting how different people and their journeys and how they view failure and success.
Oh, for sure. And, those that can't handle it and have, just get too frustrated. And when the door gets blocked and when it gets shut in your face, as it does in all of professions that are at the top of the world, it's very difficult. Some guys just give up. And I'm so thankful that I went back to Fresno after 6 years of A-ball, and the great coach Jim Sweeney was the head football coach for Fresno State Bulldogs. And he said, hey, young man, he took me to lunch. Young man, baseball, I don't know if it's going to work out for you, but I just want to tell you, you're 21 years old right now, and I'll give you a full ride scholarship here, and you can come catch passes at Bulldog Stadium here in your hometown. I just want you to know that we have a scholarship for you. And I said, Coach, man, that is such a great thing to offer me at 21 now. I just got to tell you, though, I turned down Notre Dame to be a big league ball player. And I'm not a big league ball player yet, but I'm going to be. But thank you so much, Coach. I can't give up on my dream. And I thanked him and moved on and just threw another log on that fire. And that log, or a chip, whatever you call it, most players have those. You have to have something that's going to continue to push you. And the fact that a lot of people after that long in the minors didn't ever think I would amount to a major league player. So it was fun to prove all those people wrong and to have a long career, but not to blame them, but just to say, hey, it's your opinion, but I'm going to continue to go with my heart, and my heart will take me where I want to go.
Coach Sweeney was there forever at Fresno State. He won a lot of big games, no question about it. Great by you to say, no, I'm going to stick with my dream. When you talk about young advice for players, you know, Hud, man, I mean, the bottom line is you come up, you want to do well, you want to make it, but you still got to fit in the clubhouse. You still got to all pull on the same rope. You still got to try and win games. What is the balance between being selfish and getting your numbers, but also being a good team guy?
Well, your ability is going to get you to the top. The cream rises to the top. I was told by my high school football coach a long time ago. And so the talent's going to get you there, but you have to be a team player when you enter. There's some guys that aren't. They're me guys, but that kind of finds them out. Being a team guy first and learning how to operate with your teammates, that goes a long way. And so towards the end of my baseball career, I was a free agent. I was 35 years old, and it already, and I became a free agent for the first time. And Terry Francona, new manager with the Philadelphia Phillies, calls me and says, "Hey, Hud, I got 12 rookies on my team this coming season, and you're a free agent. We want you to come here, and I need your help to help police these kids, these young players." And I said, "Really, Philly? That sounds like a good time, but you guys are not a very good team right now, and I want to try to find a winner if I can this late in my career." And then, he said, "Hud, I'll overpay you to come." And then, at 35 years old, for a payday for me, it was my only big payday. I took it, and then I went on a journey of being a leader in the clubhouse, and I found out that you lead by love, you encourage, you mentor, you love on these guys. And then next thing you know, you got them eating out of your hand. And then that's when you go, hey, when you guys are all getting on the airplane in front of all these 10-year veterans and coaches that have been here for years, you don't realize it, but you're cutting them off and you're disrespecting them. So fellas, the best thing to do is to get on the airplane last. Wait till everybody gets on the plane. You're only a rookie one time in your career. So guys, what do you think, man? Why don't you show us a little bit of respect? And you know how that was easy. I got on the team airplane. I was the last guy on the airplane, and there's 12 rookies standing there waiting to get on with a smile on their face. And I shook their hand and said, thank you for the respect that you're showing me. So little things like that, but I learned about leading, and you lead by love.
Yeah, that's great because sometimes you just need some direction and teaching these young players. And I think about what's going on with the Oakland A's right now is some young players are starting to come up. It's just a tough situation when you're not winning. I mean, you've been on good teams, you've been on bad teams. What is it like, and what advice would you give guys on a team that's really struggling and you're not even in July?
Well, and Kotze knows all about it, playing 17 years in baseball. He has a good idea. He needs a couple of veterans in there. That's always important, and he's got a few. And you know what? You're right. I did play on a lot of teams that weren't very good with losing records. But nobody's going to take the joy of being a major league player away from me, no matter what I was hitting or what our team record was. Every day in the big leagues is short. Your career is very short, and so I might be bummed. I might be hitting 200, and I'm driving to the ballpark, and I would look around and I would look at and see what different jobs guys had on the way to the ballpark, and I was telling myself, if I pulled over my car and I opened the door or the window and I asked this construction working guy, "Hey, you want to come to the big leagues with me? I'm going to the big leagues tonight. You want to come with me?" He would jump in my car in a heartbeat and drop his stuff and come and experience that. So that's what, by the time I opened the door of the clubhouse, I held my head like I was hitting 300. I walked in like we were in first place. And that's how you handle failure and being on a bad team. You have to keep your head up. What's in the past is gone. It's gone. Who's going to step up? Who's going to drive the bus tonight for us? So that type of mentality got me through those tough times. It's how you carry yourself. And there's only two things that a ball player can control in this game of being a piece of property and a commodity. You have to have a good attitude and hustle your output. That's your two things you control. And when you can control those, you're going to have a much better journey. And that's how I got through it, by staying up, staying positive, and being a fountain, not a drain.
How good is this Bobby Witt kid?
Oh, man. At the beginning of the season, we saw some of him during the pandemic as they were playing their camp games at Kauffman Stadium when we were on the road, and we were doing road games, piping them in from the K. And so I was able to watch this kid for about probably 30 games during the summer. So I had a pretty good idea. So I compared him to Robin Yount, a young Robin Yount. And that's a high praise for a young kid. And I don't drop that on anybody. I've never compared Robin Yount to anybody. But as I went on and the season started, my phone started ringing saying, "Hud, you might be right." And I said, "Yeah, buddy. Hey." So he's got tremendous quickness and speed. His feet are great. He gets himself in good position as shortstop. He hits. He stays inside the ball. He's a young Mike Trout, really, in my opinion. With an inside-out swing. He stays inside the baseball. His first multi-home run hit game a couple of games ago, he hit two of them to right center over the fence. So he's got a great approach, stay in the middle of the field, going to hit for a high average. Kid's going to steal some bases. But his baseball IQ is off the charts for 22 years old. He just turned 22 last week. And his IQ and knowing the game is far better than I've ever seen a young player like that. So he's very impressive. Let's hope for health for this kid. But what we're watching is a future Hall of Famer.
Well, you got a future Hall of Famer behind the dish there now. He's hurt, but Salvador Perez has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, when you think about his career, sum up his great career for us, even though I know he's got more years left.
Well, he's an enthusiastic, joyful, talented player. He loves to play. He's not afraid to smile on the field. He's a leader. He's a guy who accepts that leadership role. He steps up. He carries the team on his back. He encourages. He's 6'4", 230, 240 maybe. He's a big stud, but he's a big teddy bear, and he loves in the clubhouse. He shares, and he's there. He's our team leader. But this guy, to catch at his size, to do what he does, last year 48 homers. And I love Sean Murphy, and I'm proud he got a Gold Glove. But man, Salvador Perez threw out 45% of runners, and he's got 5 goals already. Sean Murphy had to have a pretty good year to take that Gold Glove from Salvi. But he's a real, genuine, happy player, and he's got a lot of skills.
Hud, man, it's always great to have you on the program. I actually got to see you on the field a little bit. Too bad you couldn't come over to the set, but just having you on the show always means a lot. You be well, and let's talk later in the season.
Anytime. Hey, thank you again for having me. I love sharing, and I appreciate your fans out there. Hang in there. Keep your heads up.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
The Hud man, Rex Hudler, he's great. Especially when you have him in person and how fired up he is, it's genuine. I mean, he comes in every day ready to go, whether he was a player, I remember back in the day, or now as a broadcaster. How about that? Turned down a football scholarship to go to Notre Dame and play with Joe Montana because he was selected by the Yankees. Who knows? Probably in the end was a really good idea for him because of what his career has turned out to be long term. But you never know. Maybe he would, because he was fast. And Hudman's got some size too. He's got some decent size. He has the wheels. Who knows the type of NFL career. Would have been Jerry Rice. And I think Jerry Rice and Joe Montana worked out okay. I think that worked out. Interesting tonight is watching a guy that, if you go by WAR, is going to be a Hall of Famer. And the way people talk about his career, let's look up Zach Greinke. Because for most people, probably just, you hear all that, he's a future Hall of Famer. I don't think Greinke gets that kind of love, but you look at the numbers. He's an American League Cy Young Award winner. He's a 6-time All-Star. He's a 6-time Gold Glove winner. He loved to hit, 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner, but we don't care anymore because we'll always have the DH. And he's a 2-time MLB ERA leader. But where he is now at 38 years old, obviously limping towards the finish line. He signed a 1-year, $13 million deal, and he's winless in his first 10 starts of the season. Like I said earlier to start the show, he looks to avoid becoming the third Royals starter in the last 15 years to go winless in his first 11 starts. His last win as a Royal, I could not believe this. His last win as a Royal, I want to take you back to a long time ago. It was 2010. September 30th, 2010 against the Rays. It would have been the Devil Rays then. That's how long ago the last time he had a win as a Royal. 2010. I mean, that's just crazy. And the stuff it's just not the same. He struck out 25 batters in 51 2/3. K per 9, 4.4 K per 9 rate. That's the lowest K per 9 rate in the majors in this year among pitchers with 50-plus innings. That's rough. But like I say with all guys, play till they take the uniform from you. I mean, you're only 38 years old. You got the rest of your life to do it, whatever the hell you want to do. Keep pitching. Why not? Who would have thought Zach Greinke, the guy that always seemed a little aloof, the guy that said he didn't want to throw a no-hitter because he wouldn't want to have to deal with the media after the game, would also be the guy that would want to hang on, that would want to keep pitching. But you look at the career. I just want to go to his career WAR. I'll do his B WAR, his baseball reference. Yeah, he's 74.2. You get to 70 plus, you're going to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. 219 wins, it's a boatload of wins. Knowing that today, we don't even think about 300-game winners anymore. Verlander will be the only guy that you have to think in our lifetime will be the last guy maybe even to approach it, and I don't even think he'll come close. We're figuring out, we're looking at different ways of the value of the pitchers. It's not as sexy, not as fun, but it is real with guys not throwing the innings that they're throwing. Pitchers now giving you less every 5 days than ever before. I think the win still matters, but it's not end all be all like it used to. We're going to be debating on other numbers to look at guys' greatness. It's not going to be a whole lot on volume. It's not going to be on wins. Greinke is one of the last guys you may ever see as a baseball fan win 200 games. It's hard to win that many games. Just getting over 2, lasting long enough to get over 200 wins. It's like when you put Pedro Martinez into the Baseball Hall of Fame, Pedro Martinez just over 200 wins. Curt Schilling should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, just over 200 wins. Greinke right now has got 219. I don't know how much he'll win anymore, but he's going to go in. Getting over 200 will kind of now be a new standard for guys that you'll look at as Hall of Famers. And then years and years from now, they're not even going to be looking at wins. Who knows what that certain number will be that you say, that guy gets to X. Yes, put him into Cooperstown. There was just recently an article on ESPN.com about looking at pitchers. How are we going to judge? How, what is the way to look with less and less volume happening from pitchers? What's going to be greatness? It just can't be strikeouts, right? Is it only going to be strikeouts? Is it only going to be your velocity? You don't have to throw hard to be great. We've always said it's because you win. Well, wins don't matter anymore. So what is going to be the number? If wins don't matter and innings pitched just keep going down and down and down and down, it just can't be strikeouts. There's got to be something that you can gauge, and maybe that'll be something that we really get into with Scott Emerson when we talk to Scott every homestand about stuff about pitching. What is the next way for us to judge the greatness of pitching? Strikeouts per 9. Well, if you're not a strikeout guy, you can still be a great pitcher. Sports evolve, and you have to evolve with it. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to evolve. It'll just be sad. It'll be sad when there's just no one cares about what the record is for a pitcher. But I understand where they're going. Frankie Montas is a great example yesterday. 8 great innings. Well, you should have thrown him out there for the 9th, and then he gets his win. But you didn't. You let somebody else finish up his work, and they couldn't get it done. So Frankie doesn't get the W. I mean, let's face it, for the A's, the offense has been atrocious. The A's have lost 21 of 25, scoring just 2.5 runs per game. They don't score. We keep track of it every single day in the playbook. They have now scored 1 run or less in 26 games. They have scored 2 runs or less in 37, basically half their games. The A's have scored 2 runs or less. That's going to affect your pitching. Shut out 9 times this year, which is not the most. And the runs scored, 220. That's 29th in baseball. Only one team has scored less runs. I mean, in the end, that's the only metric that matters. Runs scored, scoring more than the other team. That's what matters. And unfortunately, the A's haven't been doing it with the worst record in the American League at 23-48. But coming up next, we'll talk to the skipper of your Oakland Athletics. It's the Mark Kotze Show right here on A's Cast Live next.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hitting the road with the family. On your way to nonstop adventures. No worries ahead, because you know you can stop at a Chevron station along the way. Get fuel for your car, fuel for your crew. That's Chevron with Techron for unbeatable mileage and snacks for all. Coffee for mom, chips for the kids, cold drinks for dad. You know, for the road ahead. Toss in some laughs, out-of-tune singing, and a zillion "Are we there yet?" And you just made lifelong family memories. Chevron, together ahead.
August 6th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps wants to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop, where you will receive a free pack of cards, plus a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. Post your packs on social media using the hashtag ToppsITCD, and follow along with @Topps. Visit Topps.com for more information.
Hey A's fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Hey Ace fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest video highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox, wherever you are. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Freddie Freeman heading back to Atlanta. And it's interesting, the comparisons between he and Matt Olson. Now, we all love Matt Olson. He's a great guy. Matt Olson obviously replaced him with an 8-year, $168 million deal. Freeman will be getting his World Series ring. Is that uncomfortable? I guess we're all professionals. Got to move on. But you were the guy. You were Atlanta's guy. And now you got kicked to the curb. Years from now, hopefully we'll get, cooler heads will prevail, as they like to say. And we'll find out exactly why it didn't work. I mean, you just go down the list. Freddie Freeman's career with the Braves. Franchise ranked since the team moved to Atlanta. Games played, 4th all-time. Home runs, 5th all-time. RBIs, 4th all-time. Hits, 3rd. OPS, 3rd. Just won a World Series. I guess the best way to put it is he's this kid's generation, Dale Murphy or Chipper Jones. You think about guys that grew up as the Braves guy. You had Maddox, you had Glavine, Smoltz, Andrew Jones. That's why I brought up old Dale Murphy. He was a 2-time MVP back-to-back years in the 80s. People love them some Murph. Friend of the program. He was your guy. And you let him go to the Dodgers, a 6-year, $162 million deal, but that's because you signed Matt Olson to 8 years, $168. Olson is 4 years younger. The money for Olson, really for a great player, is not that much, but you just won a World Series title. Freeman has outperformed. If you just go by WAR, Freeman's outperformed Matt Olson, 2.4 WAR to 1.2. OPS plus, we'll get to, hold on, let me hit the, I have no idea, Ray, why this keeps happening.
Well, I'm happy it's on your end and not mine. Well, maybe that's not a good thing because I can't run all the way at the speed of light down to San Jose.
Now I can just get up and hit it. For some reason, this our camera is not having fun today. But OPS plus, Freeman 143 to Matt Olson's 119. I mean, you can go down the line. Freeman's having a better year. I think it's going to be awkward. I really think it is, because I think you're going to have a lot of people. One of the things helping Matt Olson, no question, is the fact that Matt Olson is kind of the hometown kid, grew up in the area, grew up a Braves fan. That gives you a benefit of the doubt, especially down in the South. You know, if it was like New York or Boston, they wouldn't care. But down there, I think he's going to get a little extra love. But still, here's your guy. Freddie Freeman just won the World Series for you. They just won the World Series. He's your guy. He's your franchise player. Now he's coming back in a Dodgers uniform. And you're going to give him his World Series ring tonight? What time is that game? Is that 7:20 Eastern? So 4:20? You know what? I can't. Well, we won't be. They won't show it. I want to see the highlights of that. I want to see the reaction of the franchise guy coming back, getting his World Series ring, and he's doing it in a Dodgers uniform. That's going to be it was awkward when the Braves showed up to Dodger Stadium. If you remember earlier this year, it was a little bit awkward. How about with him coming back? How about if you're Matt Olson tonight and you're at first base and Freddie Freeman comes up to a standing ovation? And what if it keeps on being a standing ovation? What if it's a standing ovation? I don't know. We'll see. Well, what if it's a standing ovation for, it's a 3-game set? What if Matt Olson stinks it up for these 3 games and Freddie Freeman's knocking it all over the ballpark? This could be an awkward 3 games. But more importantly, earlier today, we caught up with Mark Kotze. It's a Friday here on A's Cast Live. That means this is where you get Mark Kotze exclusively. It's time for the Mark Kotze Show. Time now for the Mark Kotze Show right here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. They have beautiful locations in the Bay Area, or you go online, nestbedding.com for all your bedding, your bed, your sheets, you name it. You go to nestbedding.com. Use the coupon code Oakland to get 10% off your entire order. Mark, how are you in Kansas City?
Doing well. Just waking up and looking outside. It's a little gloomy, but supposed to clear up. So, looking forward to a 3-game set here in Kansas City against the Royals.
How much easier is it, or maybe you don't like it, that you play a team that you just saw, so pretty much your staff, your players are prepared going into this thing?
Yeah, it does make the advanced scouting a little bit easier on the staff. And, as you talk about, we just got done playing them. And so there's a lot of familiarity to it. And, in that, it definitely decreases the workload that goes into preparing for each series. Kansas City went down to L.A. They played some pretty good baseball. I think they beat the Angels 2 out of 3. So team's playing better. And, we're looking forward to going out and getting a W tonight.
And then you're going to end up at Yankee Stadium, which obviously for first-time players is, even though it's the new Yankee Stadium, it's still Yankee Stadium. And I know for the old Yankee Stadium, how just historic it was to go in there. What is it like for a player? Talk about your first time going to play in New York.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium is a special place. We do have some young kids here that are going to experience it for their first time. So we'll try to get them out on that field early for some early work, get them familiar with the stadium, with the background, with the field conditions itself. And that's to be said here in Kansas City as well. Each infield in the big leagues plays different, speed-wise and depth perception in terms of being in the batter's box. So, but in terms of Yankee Stadium and getting to the Bronx for the first time, I can reflect back on my career. I wore number 7 in the Yankee Stadium as a Florida Marlin, a young rookie right fielder. And let's just say, Tony, it didn't go very well. The experience wasn't great. I was 0 for, I think, 8 after my first 2 and took right field on the third day. And they were yelling and screaming at me to take my number off. It was disrespectful to Mickey Mantle or, any of the, and so it was pretty brutal experience for myself as a young rookie in Yankee Stadium.
And they're really good at what they do. They're very creative.
Yeah, they creative. They do their research. They do their homework. They definitely knew that I had some success as a college player. They called me out, told me I was impersonating that player. So it was pretty good. The right field bleachers do a good job.
Frankie Montas threw just one heck of a game, and just thinking back on. This was the best Frankie had. I mean, he had the plus fastball, obviously had the splitter, but when Frankie also has the slider going and he's got all 3 pitches, he has the ability to have that, what we like to call no-hitter stuff. And then later in the game, he's still pumping it up there, 98, 99. What impressed you the most about his outing?
Yeah, I think for Frankie, obviously getting into the 8th inning without giving up a hit, and in terms of the fastball life all day, he had it when he needed it. He reached back and hit 99, which we hadn't really seen this year. As you talked about, the slider, being able to locate it, the split down and in on right-handers. I know vividly stands out the Rodriguez at bat. He went heater, split down and in, and 3 pitches, made a pretty good hitter look pretty bad. So Frankie had his best stuff yesterday. Competed his tail off for us, and left that game with everything he had. He left everything out there, and you got to tip your cap to Frankie and just overall, just from the year he's had for us. The wins and losses don't reflect it at all. He's a competitor. He takes the ball every 5th day, and really has given us a good opportunity to win ball games when he's on the mound.
When you're a hitter and you step into the box and the pitcher has 3, maybe even 4 pitches that he's got full confidence in, and he's got 3 to 4 all working for him, what's your game plan as a hitter going up against a pitcher like that?
And I think you got to be aggressive early. You're looking fastball to try to get, to get out of there before you get to that 2nd and 3rd wipeout pitch. So you do see some guys against Frankie be a little more aggressive early count. They came out yesterday, Seattle did, and swung early in that first inning. You saw, Crawford and France, Rodriguez all swing early count, make outs. From that standpoint, as you say, as you get deeper into those at-bats with guys that have wipeout pitches, the ABs tend to get harder, and your focus becomes not driving the baseball, but putting it in play.
One thing that we've talked about in the past, and we're starting to see it, and I'm happy for it, I'm sure you are too, is starting to see some younger players get opportunities. And Jonah Bride is just a fantastic story. All the work that he's put in, he's earned everything he has gotten, and he's produced for you. How nice is it, and does it put a big smile on your face to write his name into the lineup card every day?
Yeah, Jonah, as you mentioned, coming through our minor league system, a player development success, he's hit at every level and really worked hard at finding a position that he can play confidently, and we're doing that here at the major league level as well. We're getting him his opportunities to play third base and second base. We're going to see incremental improvements from these younger players while they're here, and that's really what you're talking about, the joy of watching their success, seeing it happening in front of us and being a part of it for Jonah, for Nick Allen, even Sheldon Noisy, even though he's, a little bit on the older side of being a younger player in terms of age, he's still young at this level. He's still getting his feet on the ground and still going through these learning curves, and we're gonna look at that, and we talk about our back end of our bullpen as well with these guys that we feel are mature, that have been here but really haven't, in those Zach Jackson, AJ Puck, and the likes of those that are trying to solidify being big pieces in this bullpen as well.
When you talk about those guys in the back of your bullpen, it's hard to explain to people that those last 3 outs, the finality of the game is just different. And I know people try to say, well, the biggest turning point or the most high risk could be the 7th inning or the 8th inning. And I always go, I get it, but you have to understand there's just something different about the 9th inning. It's the end of the game. It's the same thing with like the last drive in football. It's the same thing with the time counting down in basketball, the last shot. Just tell the fans how the last 3 outs is a different ball game.
Yeah, it is, and it's not fair to judge it if you haven't been out there on that mound and having to go through that experience. We look at, as you talk about, the 6th inning and the leverage moment in the middle of the lineup, or the 8th inning, but really when you get 24 outs, there's still 27 full to get a complete game in, and those last 3 seem to be like, maybe if you can mentally picture standing on a tee box with a 1-stroke lead on the 18th hole trying to hit a drive down the middle of the fairway. So the best of the best sometimes struggle at that. So there's a high level of pressure getting those last 3 outs, and experience can definitely help those that go out there in those situations, and lead that to having success.
Yeah, standing on that tee box with a 1-stroke lead, I can already feel my duck hook with the nerves already going left on that one. Good news for you, Sam Moll going to be activated from the COVID-19 list. Now that you've been dealing with that for a couple of years now, when you get that news, your guy's going to be out, he's on the COVID list, what's that like?
Yeah, it's disruptive for sure. Anytime you have an unexpected event happen, you're scrambling to fill those roles, and when you have someone like Sam, that's pretty an important piece. He's been a great piece for us down in that bullpen. He's, as you talk about, pitched some of those leverage moments, but from that standpoint, we have been dealing with COVID and the issues that lie with the circumstances you run into, and so there's time to use those COVID issues to your advantage too, to a certain extent, when you got guys in the bullpen that may need a break, that do end up getting out because of COVID, and watching those guys that get those opportunities come in and try to take advantage of them as well.
We mentioned Nick Allen earlier, and it's great to see him back. We know and hope he's going to be a big part of the future for this ball club. Have you seen a difference in him since you brought him back up from Vegas?
Well, it's been a short window, but I think, looking at him defensively, there's a little bit more of a comfortability. I think he's a little more relaxed on defense right now. He's made a couple of good plays since he's been back. And you can see, the anticipation of what he's working on in defense. The play that he made when we had the infield in the other day, and the 2 depth, and he went to his right, backhanded the ball. It was a contact play. We didn't get the out at home, but going back and looking at that play on video, he was well ahead of a step before that ball was even hit in play, anticipating a sinker down and away. So he does look more comfortable, and he's going to get more comfortable the more time he gets on this field.
When you think of him offensively, you love seeing the first career home run. He's not a very big guy, but would you say there's more pop than probably you would think out of that bat?
Yeah, he definitely has some power. He can drive the baseball, but what we're looking for out of Nick would be the alley type power. And occasionally he's going to run into a ball like he did for his first home run. It was a changeup elevated, which is a good sign because it tells me he was looking for a fastball to drive the fastball to the right side of the diamond, which was the game plan. So, that part of the maturation process for Nicky, is coming together. And again, when we talk about developing players and looking at these younger players, those are the positive signs, and those are the things we've got to continually drive into them. That it's a difficult game, especially when you're coming here for the first time. But to reward them for those successes that are going to eventually lead to their long-term success at this level.
All righty, 3 in Kansas City, 3 in New York, and then 4 against the Seattle Mariners, who you just saw. So the next time we will talk to you, we'll be in Seattle. So have a great week.
All right. Thanks again, Townie. Appreciate you.
We got to pay some bills, and we'll be right back right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into local Bay Area charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hey, A's fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And RingCentral's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. RingCentral. Message, video, phone, together.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
A's fans, there is no better way to stay in touch with the A's and even our players than following us on social media. Just head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social for a full list of our social coverage, from player accounts to Twitter handles and more. Now is the time to stay in touch. Head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social today.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Bay Area locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
August 6th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps wants to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop, where you will receive a free pack of cards, plus a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. Post your packs on social media using the hashtag ToppsITCD and follow along with @Topps. Visit Topps.com for more information.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Weekly article in The Athletic. Something that we haven't thought about in a long time, because why would we? We haven't been to Toronto since the start of the season. You forget about how unvaccinated players still can't go into Canada. So if you're the Yankees, the Red Sox, you're whoever, you're the Rays, and you're battling these guys, and you're going in for a 3 or 4 game set, and you're not taking in some of your best players. And this article talks about trouble for the Red Sox because they got a few guys that are still unvaccinated. Is that shocking? I guess yes, but I guess in some ways no. But I know this: do I want to be without some key players as we hit the mid-season and we start heading towards the end? Do I want to be without certain guys in a 3-game set, let alone a 4-game set? Hell no. And also, see, Ray, I don't know why this keeps happening. I'm not touching anything.
The commander leaves for one day and the equipment starts breaking off.
Yeah, it's because it's not going through his computer. Can you still see me?
I absolutely can.
All right. So I don't know why. See, this is why these Apple products drive me nuts. I have to keep getting up and hitting the allow for the camera. I will address this by next season. I can guarantee you that, A's fans. But I want people, and maybe this is something I've thought about. You don't need to think about this because there's other things going on in the world that are far more important to you. So you let me deal with the stuff that is interesting but yet not important. Ray, does that make sense?
100%.
You got bigger issues than baseball and stuff in baseball. Let me be the guy that looks at certain things. I hate the Astros, you know this. But I'm gaining more and more respect for them. Even Roxy Bernstein said earlier, the tank job. And I've had all these callers. The tank job. I don't know how to stop this. Auto, what the hell is auto? Oh, you know what it is? I have a ThinkPad, which is a Microsoft product, trying to speak with an Apple product. And you know what? It's like Astros and A's. They don't like each other.
You're onto something.
That's the problem. But getting back to my point, while I'm being disrupted by this stupid Apple product, is here's the deal. Everybody wants to keep acting like the success of the Astros is off Jeffrey Lunau and tanking. Those days are long gone. Correa's gone. Some of those tank drafts, those players didn't work. Some of those players were moved on. For like Garrett Cole, he's gone. I mean, the one guy left who's a prominent player from the tanking days is Bregman. A lot of the tanking stuff doesn't matter anymore. It hasn't mattered for years, especially with Correa gone. And inside this article, and I know I'm running out of time, it's called the Astros Coaching Factory. And it's a whole article we'll get into on Monday, which Dave Cavill, the president, the big vote's coming up next week. Dave Cavill will be here on A's Cast Live. There is a whole thing about Astros hitting coaches from inside their organization are now littered all over Major League Baseball because of the technology, the way they use technology, the way they taught technology, that supposedly whatever was going on inside the Astros organization was superior, and now everybody wants a part of it. Wasn't about tanking, wasn't about being last, wasn't about the draft. Technology, technology and teaching the technology, wow, say that fast, is what made them superior and what has made them superior. Stop being in this trap of that it's all about that tanking. That's long gone, man. That was years ago. They're not making it to the ALCS every single year. They're not making it to the playoffs every single year. And they're not going to these World Series because of tanking. It might have helped at that time, but that's not why now. And people need to get over that. And the one thing they did in the collective bargaining agreement was make the first pick of the draft a crapshoot now with the lottery. But the Astros are putting together like a Bill Walsh, for all you Niner fans out there that you know, the Bill Walsh coaching tree. They're doing it now with hitting coaches. Whatever Houston's doing, obviously, the other people in Major League Baseball think it works. Ray, fantastic job today.
Thank you. Happy to fill in for the commander and smooth sailing as much as we can.
We need to get a picture of the commander's bolo tie for the wedding that he is at in Texas. He's going all Phillip Rivers on us. I can't wait to see the bolo tie. What are we playing from now till A's Total Access?
We'll have some Best of A's Cast coming up, courtesy of iHeart.
All righty. Thank you to Roxy Bernstein, Rex Hudler, and Mark Kotze. And thank you, everybody, for listening and watching A's Cast Live. We'll be back next week starting at 1 o'clock. And Dave Cavill will join us on Monday. It'll be A's and Yankees, but we got a big vote about Howard Terminal next week. We'll be all over it. Hang with us for a few minutes here on A's Cast, and we'll be back for A's Total Access. Have a great weekend.
Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back.